When you eventually become wealthy, the smartest strategy you will ever use is keeping your financial success completely silent. This idea sounds strange at first, especially because society constantly pressures people to display their achievements whenever possible. But the truth becomes undeniable once you realize many genuinely wealthy Americans look unbelievably ordinary in their daily routines. They drive humble older cars, wear simple retail clothing, and effortlessly blend into crowds without raising unnecessary attention. You would never guess they possess more financial security than most people could realistically build in an entire lifetime. My name is Max, and I spend countless hours studying why people unintentionally sabotage themselves once real money arrives. I see hardworking individuals finally build wealth only to destroy their progress because they misunderstand what wealth truly represents. If you want real financial freedom instead of performing a fake wealthy lifestyle, pay attention to this powerful message. Before we explore why silence protects your wealth, let me ask a simple question about your personal image of success. When you imagine becoming rich, what immediate picture forms inside your mind without any hesitation or second thoughts? Maybe you see yourself proudly posing beside an exotic luxury car posted instantly across your social media accounts. Maybe you picture buying a massive mansion with far more rooms than you will realistically ever need. Or perhaps you imagine casually walking into designer boutiques and purchasing items without checking a single price tag. Here is the surprising psychological truth. Most people never genuinely desire wealth itself, only the appearance of wealth. The difference between truly being rich and desperately trying to look rich determines whether your future becomes secure or unstable. Ask yourself honestly why you want money and remove all the shallow surface-level reasons you might normally provide. Beneath your initial explanations, there is often a deeper desire for admiration, reputation, validation, or even subtle envy. Wanting recognition is normal, but misunderstanding it becomes dangerous because showing off wealth immediately creates hidden vulnerabilities. Every time you publicly display financial success, you unintentionally place a large invisible target directly on your back. And this target does not only attract criminals, it also manipulates the intentions and expectations of people around you. This is why the concept of stealth wealth exists, a powerful strategy surprisingly used by many financially independent Americans. Stealth wealth means accumulating significant money while intentionally appearing ordinary so nobody suspects your actual financial capacity. It protects you from the destructive trap of lifestyle inflation that quietly destroys countless households across the country. You may wonder why having money requires secrecy, so let me show you the real dangers of advertising your wealth. The moment your financial status becomes visible, your personal security risks increase dramatically without you even realizing it. Individuals who flaunt success constantly face burglaries, scams, manipulations, and various forms of targeted criminal attention. But security problems are only the beginning, because the emotional and relational consequences become far more damaging. People start behaving differently, questioning your motives, expecting favors, and analyzing every decision you publicly make. Friends may suddenly assume you will always cover expensive bills simply because they believe you can afford everything. Relatives who rarely contacted you might suddenly reappear with suspicious kindness after hearing about your financial improvements. These changes are not paranoia. They reflect natural shifts in human behavior influenced by unequal financial power dynamics. Some wealthy individuals become extremely lonely because they can never determine whether affection is genuine or financial. That is why many high earners deliberately drive modest vehicles even while earning multiple six-figure annual salaries. They understand a car should never become a billboard advertising your income level or lifestyle to the entire world. When you appear financially ordinary, you gain something priceless. Relationships built on authenticity rather than economic assumptions. You interact as equals with friends, strangers, and coworkers without silent expectations contaminating your social environment. Imagine your closest friends discovering you secretly possess 10 times more money than everyone in your circle combined. Suddenly, every conversation shifts, every outing becomes uncomfortable, and every shared expense carries subtle, awkward pressure. People unconsciously expect you to help, contribute more, or shield them from financial discomfort simply because you can. This invisible tension pushes many wealthy Americans to surround themselves exclusively with others of similar financial status. Outsiders often assume this behavior is arrogance, but in reality it becomes a form of emotional and social self-defense. Once you start showing wealth, Society expects you to maintain a lifestyle that constantly drains your long-term financial stability. You buy a luxury car, then feel pressured to upgrade your wardrobe and neighborhood to match the expensive image. Soon every purchase becomes an attempt to maintain a persona instead of supporting your genuine personal happiness. I refer to this destructive process as the appearance prison, a self-created trap that becomes increasingly difficult to escape. Meanwhile, individuals practicing stealth wealth accumulate savings quietly because they avoid spending money on superficial validation. They understand that freedom grows when financial pressure decreases, not when luxury items dominate their daily responsibilities. There is a classic saying about wealth describing three stages. Poor people mow their lawn, middle class pay someone else. But truly wealthy individuals eventually mow their own lawn again because they prioritize freedom over maintaining illusions. They realize expensive possessions rarely provide lasting happiness compared to experiences, relationships, and genuine control over time. The truth becomes clearer when you notice wealthy people consistently focus on simplicity even while possessing enormous financial capability. They prioritize meaningful experiences because genuine fulfillment often comes from moments that cost little or sometimes absolutely nothing. Time with family, peaceful evenings, long walks, and meaningful conversations offer deeper satisfaction than any luxury item ever could. And none of these experiences require broadcasting your wealth or proving anything to people who barely understand your life. When you keep your finances private, you gain the freedom to enjoy life without unnecessary social expectations weighing constantly on you. Consider how liberating it feels to travel without documenting everything solely to impress acquaintances who barely matter. You immerse yourself in new cultures, appreciate small details, and experience authentic joy rather than performing for an invisible audience. Without the pressure to appear impressive, your adventures become more personal, more meaningful, and significantly more memorable. This ability to enjoy life without external validation is one of the greatest psychological gifts stealth wealth provides. Another powerful benefit emerges financially because every dollar not spent on appearances becomes available for long-term investment growth. While others finance luxury vehicles with rising payments, you quietly redirect money into assets that appreciate steadily over decades. This single difference creates enormous wealth gaps over time because compound growth always rewards discipline more than performance. The math remains simple. Money not wasted on impressing others becomes fuel that accelerates your financial independence dramatically. Meanwhile, individuals who showcase wealth constantly face rising costs that trap them in stressful lifestyle maintenance cycles. Expensive possessions demand insurance, repairs, upgrades, and endless emotional energy to maintain the image they originally created. Over time, these burdens transform luxury into obligation, making the lifestyle feel more like a burden than a blessing. Stealth wealth eliminates this pressure entirely because you decide your lifestyle based on comfort instead of outside expectations. Another overlooked advantage is maintaining a strong competitive edge in business and career negotiations. When people cannot judge your wealth, they negotiate with you fairly instead of adjusting prices based on perceived resources. Opportunities stay available because nobody assumes you are too successful to need them or too wealthy to appreciate them. I have seen entrepreneurs negotiate incredible deals simply because others believed they were financially average individuals. Meanwhile, entrepreneurs who show off their wealth often encounter inflated costs, unrealistic expectations, and constant financial pressure. Stealth wealth keeps you grounded, focused, and protected from wealth extraction schemes designed to target visible high earners. But some of the most painful risks actually come from the people closest to you, not strangers. When family learns you possess money, expectations shift silently and permanently, even if nobody says anything directly. Suddenly, your success becomes their solution, and every challenge they face feels like a responsibility quietly placed onto you. Friends may unconsciously expect you to cover group expenses or contribute more simply because they believe you can. Coworkers may treat you differently, assuming you no longer understand their struggles or share common experiences. These changes accumulate into emotional exhaustion, making private wealth significantly healthier than public wealth. Privacy allows generosity to remain intentional rather than pressured, strengthening relationships instead of quietly damaging them. Wealth becomes a tool you control, not a performance you feel obligated to maintain for approval or acceptance. Think about celebrities constantly photographed, judged, and criticized simply because their wealth is visible to the world. Many spend millions trying to appear flawless every time they leave their homes due to relentless public expectations. Now imagine voluntarily creating that same pressure for yourself, even though you never needed to endure it. When you show off wealth, you unintentionally sign up for a lifetime of maintaining an exhausting public persona. Yet most people impressed by luxury displays are rarely wealthy themselves, making the performance even more pointless. Truly wealthy individuals recognize the difference between owning wealth and spending money to imitate wealth. Many financially successful Americans drive older cars, shop modestly, and focus on practicality rather than attention. They understand the psychology of hedonic adaptation, which quickly transforms excitement into normal routine within months. That brand new luxury purchase loses emotional impact long before the ongoing financial burden finally disappears. Meanwhile, modest choices combined with consistent investing create future security and deeper long-term satisfaction. Stealth wealth strengthens decision-making because choices are guided by logic rather than public perception or ego. You begin asking essential questions. Do I genuinely need this, or am I trying to impress someone unnecessary? These questions become your financial shield, protecting you from impulsive spending motivated by insecurity or comparison. Instead of chasing trends, you build a life that aligns with your values, goals, and long-term vision. This shift leads to quiet financial confidence, the peaceful feeling that you can handle unexpected challenges without stress. Car repairs, medical emergencies, or spontaneous opportunities no longer generate anxiety because you prepared intentionally. This inner stability ends the frantic need for social approval because security replaces insecurity in your daily life. You sleep better, negotiate better, and move through the world with calm assurance grounded in real financial strength. This confidence becomes invisible armor, allowing you to live freely while others chase validation through temporary status symbols. Another question often appears from people exploring stealth wealth, usually asking whether generosity becomes impossible under this mindset. The truth is the complete opposite because secrecy actually strengthens generosity by keeping your intentions pure and pressure-free. When nobody expects anything, every act of kindness becomes meaningful rather than viewed as an obligation tied to your finances. You choose when to help, who to support, and how much to contribute without external guilt influencing your decisions. Stealth wealth gives you space to remain compassionate without becoming a permanent financial safety net for everyone else. It also prevents resentment because you are no longer burdened by unrealistic expectations from people relying on your resources. Many wealthy individuals experience painful relationship breakdowns simply because others misinterpret generosity as guaranteed responsibility. Keeping your wealth private protects your emotional boundaries and allows relationships to develop organically instead of financially. Another overlooked advantage is clarity, because stealth wealth reveals who genuinely respects you regardless of your income level. When people assume you are financially average, their behavior reflects authentic character instead of money-driven motivation. You quickly recognize who offers help sincerely and who behaves kindly only when expecting future financial rewards. This acts like psychological X-ray vision, allowing you to filter trustworthy individuals from manipulative personalities effortlessly. Over time, this clarity helps you build a strong inner circle filled with reliable, grounded, and emotionally healthy people. These relationships become far more valuable than status symbols that lose excitement shortly after the initial purchase glow. Another advantage appears when dealing with service providers who often inflate prices once they sense customers possess money. Mechanics, contractors, and consultants sometimes adjust quotes based on perceived wealth, increasing costs dramatically and unfairly. Stealth wealth allows you to receive transparent pricing because people treat you like an average customer without assumptions. This prevents unnecessary spending and protects you from exploitation targeting financially visible individuals. Meanwhile, people who enjoy showing off success often become primary targets for expensive upsells and manipulative strategies. Entire industries quietly exist to separate wealthy individuals from their money through subtle persuasion and strategic pressure. When you remain invisible financially, you avoid becoming an easy target for these sophisticated wealth extraction systems. But perhaps the most interesting aspect of stealth wealth involves observing the behavior of others during ordinary interactions. People reveal surprising honesty when they believe you are struggling financially or living a simple, modest lifestyle. You see who treats you respectfully without expecting anything, highlighting the rare individuals worth keeping close. You also identify people who only value relationships when they believe they can personally benefit from your success. This emotional insight protects your heart and safeguards your long-term well-being far more effectively than money alone. Consider a common scenario where someone flaunts wealth publicly and instantly experiences dramatic changes in social behavior. Invitations become transactional, conversations become strategic, and genuine moments become extremely rare and difficult to trust. People begin monitoring every detail, expecting lavish contributions or preferential treatment simply due to your financial status. This constant pressure transforms social gatherings into subtle evaluations instead of authentic experiences shared between equals. Stealth wealth removes this pressure by returning your relationships to a natural, balanced, and emotionally healthy dynamic. Another key benefit is mental peace, which grows stronger when your lifestyle remains simple despite financial growth. You avoid anxiety about maintaining appearances because no one expects luxury or constant displays of success from you. Without performance pressure, your mind becomes calmer, clearer, and more capable of making rational, long-term financial decisions. This mental clarity directly enhances your ability to invest intelligently and avoid impulsive choices shaped by ego. Over time, this disciplined mindset compounds, creating a significant gap between your true wealth and perceived lifestyle. People underestimate you while your finances steadily strengthen, giving you strategic advantages in nearly every situation. You negotiate with confidence, approach opportunities with patience, and evaluate risk without emotional noise clouding judgment. This combination of privacy and intelligence transforms your financial journey from stressful survival into peaceful mastery. Another fascinating element involves observing reactions when people eventually discover your true financial position unexpectedly. Many feel shocked because your modest lifestyle contradicts their assumptions about what wealthy individuals should look like. Their surprise becomes its own reward, reinforcing the power of quietly building wealth without chasing external validation. You experience a unique sense of satisfaction knowing you built success silently while others wasted energy performing. This hidden advantage feels almost like possessing a secret superpower that only activates when circumstances reveal your truth. The world treats you normally because nobody suspects you have already escaped financial stress most people constantly endure. This freedom allows you to navigate life efficiently, avoiding unnecessary drama created by public displays of wealth. You remain grounded, humble, and focused because your identity never becomes tied to luxury items or outside approval. Instead, you build a lifestyle centered on authenticity, personal growth, genuine connection, and long-term financial independence. Slowly, you realize the greatest luxury in life is simply living on your own terms without performing for anyone. That realization becomes the moment you finally understand why staying silent about wealth is the ultimate financial advantage. Now imagine a simple thought experiment where your financial information suddenly becomes public within your entire social circle. Within 24 hours, every relationship around you changes because people unconsciously adjust expectations based on perceived wealth. Friends might begin dropping subtle hints about expensive plans they expect you to fund without questioning fairness. Family members may present unexpected emergencies, claiming you are uniquely positioned to assist because of your success. Strangers observing your lifestyle could quietly judge your character or intentions without genuinely understanding your reality. Even co-workers might assume you no longer struggle with common pressures, distancing themselves emotionally over time. These shifts create emotional burdens that wealthy individuals rarely anticipate, but frequently experience once their success becomes visible. Stealth wealth prevents this chaos entirely by protecting your freedom to choose how people interact with you. When people believe you are financially average, their expectations remain reasonable, manageable, and grounded in reality. This maintains healthier boundaries, preserving long-term relationships without financial tension, quietly poisoning trust. Another misconception suggests stealth wealth means restricting enjoyment or avoiding meaningful luxuries altogether. The truth is, you can enjoy comfort, experiences, and quality items discreetly without broadcasting your lifestyle publicly. You enjoy what matters to you rather than purchasing items simply to impress an audience that never truly cares. This creates a healthier relationship with money because joy comes from genuine satisfaction rather than external validation. Many wealthy individuals describe quiet purchases as more meaningful because they feel no pressure to justify choices. Their financial decisions become personal expressions of comfort instead of public performances designed to display superiority. This mindset ensures money becomes a supportive tool rather than a burden demanding constant upkeep and attention. Stealth wealth also prevents you from chasing trends that quickly fade and drain financial resources without providing fulfillment. You stop comparing your lifestyle to others because external comparisons lose power when wealth remains invisible. Without comparison, you experience deeper gratitude, greater peace, and a stronger appreciation for simple moments. Gratitude increases happiness because emotional satisfaction grows when life no longer revolves around public perception. With this clarity, your priorities shift from presentation to purpose, transforming how you build your future. You begin investing time into personal growth, meaningful relationships, and fulfilling experiences that enrich your life. These priorities enable lasting happiness because they rely on internal values rather than unstable external approval. Another powerful benefit appears in emergencies because financial privacy protects you from manipulative demands. People cannot pressure you for assistance if they have no idea about your true financial capabilities. You maintain autonomy, giving only when it feels right instead of giving due to guilt or obligation. Autonomy becomes one of the greatest invisible privileges stealth wealth provides throughout your financial journey. This autonomy strengthens mental health by reducing the emotional exhaustion caused by constant external expectations. You make decisions rooted in calm clarity rather than reacting to pressures created by social narratives. Over time, this intentional lifestyle compounding results in a life built on quiet security and lasting independence. You no longer chase validation because confidence now comes from stability, preparation, and consistent financial discipline. This deep internal confidence is rare, powerful, and unavailable to those trapped in cycles of public performance. Meanwhile, people obsessed with appearing wealthy struggle emotionally because their identity depends on external admiration. Their self-worth rises and falls with trends, opinions, comparisons, and unpredictable social judgments they cannot control. Stealth wealth frees you from these emotional chains by removing the need to constantly prove your value. Instead of chasing admiration, you chase purpose, meaning, and genuine human connection that enriches your inner life. You discover peace in simplicity and strength in privacy, realizing how unnecessary external approval truly is. This internal shift slowly transforms your entire worldview and reshapes your relationship with money forever. You begin viewing wealth not as a display, but as a reservoir of opportunities you protect carefully. These opportunities allow you to work less, think clearer, and invest deeper into things that genuinely matter. You finally experience life on your own terms without compromising values just to appear successful publicly. Stealth wealth becomes a lifelong strategy that amplifies freedom while minimizing unnecessary noise and drama. This strategy works because it aligns perfectly with human psychology, social behavior, and financial longevity. It protects your money, relationships, reputation, happiness, emotional health, and future opportunities simultaneously. The greatest irony is that the most successful people rarely look successful because they choose peace over showmanship. They understand true wealth is measured by options, freedom, time, and emotional independence rather than outward displays. And once you internalize this mindset, your financial journey transforms into something profoundly empowering and sustainable. So when you finally become wealthy, remember that silence protects everything you have worked so hard to build. Because the best kind of rich is the kind nobody sees coming, yet everybody eventually feels through your quiet stability.